Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Birthright here as we keep working our way through the Blood Enemies book and also here now the new Bloodline abilities. So today we're taking a look at one that has multiple derivations, and that is Invulnerability, which is already a frightening prospect, especially if you'll typically see this on some of the Anshe out there. Oops. Now it is only at the Great level, and it has three derivations: Azrai, of course, Basaya, and Vorin. Now, the blooded character that possesses this ability is not fully immortal, because that would certainly be broken, but he cannot be killed except under specific circumstances, he or she, or it. This ability renders them immune to all spells and effects that use the death magic saving throw matrix. They're also immune to the effects of all poisons, no matter how virulent, so that's already pretty potent there. A character with invulnerability, and actually, as a pause there for a second, so knowing if the character knows then that they're also immune to the poison, that would really make them kind of like very much geared towards killing certain of the Anshe out there, or just other horrible monsters. But anyway, a character with invulnerability can be killed only under a particular set of deadly conditions which are unique for each blooded scion. If an NPC has this ability, the DM must decide what procedures must be accomplished for it to be slain. As an example, a being might need to be slain like so to bypass its invulnerability and end its life. It must be reduced to less than 10 hit points, the head must be severed, and its heart must be removed from its chest. Parts must each be burned separately on open fires. If even one of the prescribed steps is not done properly, the character regenerates 1 hit point each hour until it reaches 1 hit point. The normal healing process for that individual then takes over at that point. Unless it's truly destroyed, the blooded character does not lose any of its birthright or regency. So, we think back to the series so far, and we see some of those Anshe that have that, right? So that just, they're already more or less all pretty nasty, deadly, very formidable opponents. But if they have that, that could be something too, where the characters, hey, we did it, we killed the big monster. Maybe the DM doesn't give them quite as much experience as they thought it would be. Certainly, they're free to like loot treasure and everything because they think the monster has been destroyed. But then maybe play with the characters a little bit, let them bask in their glory of having accomplished this, reap all the rewards. But then however much time passes, could be months, could be years. The monster, whatever it might be, starts forming some sort of plan of revenge. Maybe it's plotting and like attacking maybe like a town that the heroes tend to frequent, and it's like sending a message on how it's taking revenge here, making an example out of people that maybe the PCs know, maybe like a favorite NPC, or again, a lot of people that they know suddenly wind up dead, or in like the most horrific ways, or just other ways of like, hey, you guys claim to have killed whatever monster it is, and it just like openly goes on a rampage, and it's like, oh, it's not like it's not a different monster or anything. It is in fact that monster brought back to life. So maybe it questions the hero's sort of honestness and I guess authenticity as far as like that they're maybe they lied about actually killing it, and they're just reaping the rewards. Maybe that has some serious like consequences with wherever they tend to frequent. Maybe they're looked at as cowards and phonies, and just has other repercussions until they maybe have to go and prove themselves yet again. And it could be one where, hey, you seemingly killed the monster the first time, but how could it possibly have returned? So that could be a whole set of quest points as well, as just figuring out like, well, what went wrong? How could it possibly come back? And maybe that has to be investigated, and you're at some point probably going to have to confront that monster again, and it's probably learned from its past mistakes and letting itself get defeated, so it's probably prepared some other nasty surprises for the heroes. So there's just all kinds of fun stuff that you can do with that as far as making life a little bit more difficult for the characters, and maybe they really just have to come up with a very specific plan, or figure it out somehow, gain some clues, research, whatever it might be. What do we have to do to put this thing down, and then kill it once and for all, so, but then again, and a PC having this, depending on their bloodline, could also be very potent, but also something the DM's probably going to have to police a little bit, right? Because certainly they'll be immune to a lot of these things, but it shouldn't necessarily allow them to kind of go on a power trip and just kind of horribly abuse it. So, if they're going to get a little bit arrogant and try to abuse that, there should be some consequences out there at some point. But a fun ability if used correctly, although one that could be abused. So again, DM's got to be careful too, and as it says, the characters aren't immortal. It's just going to be much harder to kill them and would have to be under specific circumstances. So let us know, guys, if you have seen this or used this in your campaigns. How would you use it? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you want to support the channel, guys, head over to our Patreon. We got a couple different levels there, even a free level if you just want to at least show a little bit of support. But any of the paid levels do have extra content for you guys, a lot of unique stuff for Birthright and other settings. Also, most Birthright videos will be out there at least a week or so early, so you get some cool early access, and we'll have more as things go on. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.